Hey guys, what's up? DL Studios is back with another video. Today I'm going to try and build a Lego church. Let's get started. For starters, the first thing I did was gather some base plates and figure out the size of this church that I wanted. The second thing I did was build a door. I wanted two functioning double doors. I used some hinge plates to capture that, and these doors, I wanted them to be the height of a minifigure, obviously, so I measured it with the minifigure that I had to make sure that it would function. So we have our doors here, double doors. They open. They're not perfect yet, they're not fully attached, but they do function. So we're gonna work on kind of the interior church pews, and then I wanna do this, the stained glass window as well. I built two sets of stained glass for this church. The first ones are going to be a little bit placed above the front door, and the second batch is going to be more stained glass when you walk in behind where the speaker will be teaching from, just to give the church some more color, and it looks really nice. After building the stained glass, I wanted to start working on the walls, and I used a bunch of colorful plates, so gray, dark gray, various browns and greens to create kind of some rustic, dirty, old vibe that this church should be, that I wanted it. And then I built up the walls. Okay, so it's been a minute since my last update. I kind of didn't work on the interior, and I just kind of started working on the exterior walls after the stained glass. Started out as just me messing around, and now we've got this cool design up here, and then stained glass back here that you'll actually be able to see on the inside. And then our doors work mostly. This one's still kind of a work in progress. I haven't built up the walls high enough, but they do close. It just looks nice. I had to do some crazy techniques here to get this stained glass section in, but yeah, it's looking really nice. The walls look super clean, except they're not, but it looks nice. Next, I continued to build up the walls using just light bluish gray pieces and some masonry bricks to give it some texture. But shortly after starting that, I realized, let's build some church pews in the interior before we get too far into it. And oh man, these were so hard to design. I don't have a ton of parts in brown. It's all good. And I came up with a design that worked out and a way to fit them all in. And it looks really good. So I've built our church pews here, or the seats you sit in, and they'll rest on these plates here. So they'll be pretty narrow, but I try to make them the most uncomfortable looking as possible, because I feel like some church pews just aren't comfortable at all. I definitely got carried away in this part of the build. I finished the walls and I started realizing, I have to work on the roof soon. And I had an idea, but I wasn't sure how it would look. And then I came up with a different idea that involves plates resting up against the church itself. And that's what I ended up using, and it looks really good. Dark gray roof with plates is really good, and I'll add some detail here later, but it fit on the church, and it was a building style I'd never really used before. The next thing I decided to do was work on the steeple of the church, and I started by making it kind of big, and I wanted to have a church bell in it as well, but some arches, just some good detailing. And unfortunately, my camera will fall here in just a minute, but that's kind of what I was working on here. So apparently my camera fell off the tripod, or fell down the tripod, so we've done a lot. I started working on the roof, the steeple, just a lot going on. This is like the DreamWorks setup right here, right? This clip here as well, I started working on stabilizing the roof and continuing to build that steeple up. And then I realized that the steeple was way taller than the actual building, so I had to make the whole building a little bit taller. And I'm also running out of gray 1x bricks, so that's not helpful, but we did it at the end of the day, and it was great. And you can kind of still see it. I'm going to keep the camera clip rolling here, but we'll see it at the end here a little bit. So I just quickly put the church all back together, finished off the top. It looks really nice. I just got to finish the roof and finish the interior, and it's going to be looking pretty sweet. And build the base plate, of course. This next part was honestly really fun. I started tiling the floor of the church and adding the pews. I added some dark tan, some gray, and then some like nougat color as well on the floor. I think it looks really good. Good colorfulness, and then adding the pews just really made the whole interior come together. It just looks amazing and added a few extra details here and there. And oh man, it's starting to look really good now. Building the roof originally was pretty cool, but building the detail was so tedious. I put 1 by 1 tiles all over it, kind of like the Rivendell set from Lord of the Rings. And though it was very, very boring, it looks really good at the end. And then I spent a ton of time building vines to give it some more detail. And oh my goodness, it looks amazing. Holy cow, this is like a work of art. And as we come to the conclusion of me building this church, oh man, we saved the best for last. I worked on the exterior and putting all the trees and bushes. And those bushes and trees, I swear they took so long to do, but they look so good. And building the plates around it, it just makes it amazing. What a wonderful build. So let's see the finished model. So here's the finished product on the base plate. And oh my goodness, this has got to be one of the most beautiful mocks I have ever made. Quick overview from top to bottom. We've got some functioning doors. And there's not light in there, but you can kind of see it in there. And you can kind of see the stained glass, which looks good. There's some stained glass here as well, using some cool techniques. You can see the cheese slopes are upside down on the top and right side up, and looks really good. Got some nice greenery, these nice bushes, vines around it. I used some masonry bricks throughout the build and some multicolored plates like on the bottom just to show dirt, wear and tear. This is an old church, right? Some wonderful tree builds. A little bit better than the one I used in my Halloween mock recently, a few months ago. And just kind of the same exact build, just a little bit bigger, and I think it paid off. They aren't the most securely stable, but that's okay. This isn't a play set. You can see the stained glass from the back here, and it just looks good. The vines, like I said, kind of similar building style throughout the whole thing. It goes up into this roof here. Like I said, I kind of use the Rivendell Lego set as a reference here. I have a ton of these 1 by 1 pieces. And then we have our steeple here, which looks great. Put a little cross on top. But inside the tower, there is a bell that you can actually ring by turning this piece here. So it's kind of fun, just a fun little detail. On the top, it just looks absolutely amazing, if I do say so. But let's see the inside. The best bird's eye view that I can here with this tripod. So the roof pieces just come right off. They're kind of held on by those plates, and they go in those ingot things. And the roof isn't the most secure, but you can kind of see inside there. And as well as this panel comes off as well. This section also comes off very carefully, as does the steeple. It's pretty modular, and honestly, the whole church actually just comes off. So you can kind of see the pews in there, the stained glass, and it just looks good. The front doors, and you just see in there, it looks nice. And I'll show you with some clone troopers what this would look like for some people hoping to worship, using Captain Rex as, I guess, the preacher or the pastor, whatever you want to call it. We'll put some troopers in there. This is also not meant to be funny in any way. I am a man of faith myself, and I encourage people to have a faith in God. It's brought me a lot of joy, so everybody needs to worship. But anyway, here we are. We threw some clone troopers in there. There's a little stand for our guy to stand at. You can see there the stained glass behind it. It was a really fun build all together, and lots of fun details. And if you like this video, leave a like, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below a mock that you would like to see me build. I'll give it a shot the best I can. I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Give me feedback. What you got? But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next week.